Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. How's everybody doing? Getting along on this great weekend? Hope everybody's having a good one. Well, the weather is definitely looking very active. We're still holding on to that prospect of a few tropical waves, which actually could develop potentially into named storms out here towards the Cape Verde Islands. This is getting towards August 18th through the 22nd, and we're actually going to see, spinning off from that, a big surge in tropical moisture here across the Lesser Antilles westward to Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Puerto Rico, and eventually Latin America. We'll get into all the prospects of where these storms could have the best chance of forming. And in the Western Pacific, where could Typhoon Lan be making landfall? Is it actually heading away from Tokyo more towards the west? We'll get into that. And a possible bigger storm that could be brewing. And with the tropics as well, we're going to be dealing with severe weather, particularly from the middle part of your weekend here for your Saturday evening, Saturday afternoon and evening. There is an enhanced risk of severe weather, and we're in a dangerous weather pattern where we could be looking at tremendous severe weather outbreaks. We'll take a look at that along with your pattern of what could be a very unsettled weather pattern here across the east with tremendous amounts of severe weather along this massive trough developing. Let's get into it. So initially, as we take a look at the European model here for the tropical Atlantic, you can see there is nothing that catches your eye initially here. But watch as we continue through August 14th, the 15th here, we do start to see a couple areas of concern here. The first area is off the Cape Verde Islands here. You start to see things starting to ramp up here as the moisture, even at mid-layer, starts to overcome that dry air layer. Now look at here, we have kind of a tropical wave here across Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, parts of the Western Caribbean. And as we continue in time, we're going to continue to watch this, push westward towards Central America. Lots of tropical rains from this as we continue to go out here next week through August 15th. Now, as we continue to go out, let me just zoom out. You can see what's in control of the steering currents out here. It's this big subtropical high well to the northeast of Bermuda and west of the Azores. So we're going to continue to watch it here because as we continue to head towards that August 18th time frame, take a look at this. We're going to start to see the potential for that low pressure system initializing out here. This first low pressure, which doesn't seem to have too much of a chance initially with the dry air, and I'll show you on that dry air analysis. But look at this. Yeah, we start to ramp up another tropical wave here, getting ready to exit. So watch these two areas as we continue. There's August 18th, and look what's going on here across parts of the Northeast Caribbean, from the Lesser Antilles, the U.S., and all the Virgin Islands, for that matter, over towards Puerto Rico. We're going to be really moistening up the atmosphere. A big tropical wave moving through. Could it have a chance to develop? We'll watch it because we'll take a look at the GFS momentarily here to see what could be happening with that. But look what's starting to happen out here. Here's our low pressures lining up here of what could become maybe some named tropical systems here. We'll definitely keep an eye on it, but some big systems here. I'll show you what's happening with the dry air. This initial system does find a weakness in the subtropical ridge, but this system behind it may have a better shot of heading westward. Now look at this. This is towards August 20th, just to the east of Jamaica. We're going to be watching a big area of showers and thunderstorms, and this is actually going to be an area we're going to be watching, as well as another area just east of the Lesser Antilles and Virgin Islands. So please keep an eye on this. This is definitely going to be ramping up as we head towards the third, basically the third quarter of August here. Look at this. Yeah, the European model really ramping up this system. We'll have to see, because if it does remain strong, it might have a tendency to wrap around this high pressure system. If it stays a little weaker, it will remain into the westerlies here, and we'll have to keep an eye. But look at these waves lining up here across parts of the Caribbean. The European model is really increasing tropical moisture here from Puerto Rico, Hispaniola. Look at here in Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Central and Latin America, just getting pummeled here with plenty of tropical moisture. And I did want to make mention of this area of low pressure. Look at this. This also has a chance as we head westward. This is our last frame, by the way, so we'll leave you with. So essentially for the GFS here, we're kind of like throwing darts on a dartboard, because the GFS, yeah, by the 13th, it does indicate that there could be some systems here off the intertropical convergence zone. You see towards the 17th and the 18th, but the GFS doesn't blossom them quite as nicely as the European model does. So as we continue through time, the GFS has something, but it's 306 hours out on the 24th here. So yeah, I'm waiting for the GFS to come on board with the European model here. We'll see if that happens. But there's two systems I want to make note here. The first system here towards the 15th, look how it comes out of the southern part of the Caribbean here. You can see that it kind of rockets up across eastern Nicaragua, Honduras here. Look at this slug of tropical moisture. Could this develop? I don't think so, but it's something we'll have to keep an eye on because sea surface temperatures are running so dangerously high. We haven't had any storms to stir all this up. But as we head towards the 18th, there's two systems I want to make note here. Look at this system here in the Eastern Gulf. We'll have to keep an eye on that. There's a weakness here on the southwestern part of the ridge. And watch this area here northeast of the Lesser Antilles. As we go in time, the GFS kind of spinning these areas up, so to speak. Look at this. Yeah, so that area northeast of the Bahamas ends up here near Tampa. This area northeast of the Lesser Antilles ends up just east of Puerto Rico in the Virgin Islands here as we head towards the 19th. So these couple systems that we're showing across the Caribbean on the European model are a bit further to the north on the GFS. Look at this towards the 20th. Yeah. Could we have some development here into parts of the Eastern Gulf? And then this system here, the GFS really wants to blow this system up. Let's take a look here as we go in time. I caution you, this is more than 200 hours out. As we head towards the 22nd of August, look at this, heading northeast to the Bahamas. And as we continue here with our GFS model, heading towards the northeast Florida coast. This is 276 hours out. So please, I caution you, this can change greatly, but it is indicative that maybe the tropics are heading towards a big, uptick, so to speak here. Thanks to Tropical Tidbits here for our mid-layer dry air. It's going to take a look and see what's going on here across the Atlantic, see where the biggest dry air, dust, whatnot is going to preclude tropical development here. Look at this. Yeah, this is a big area of mid-layer dust. This is why that's kept basically a cap on what's going on across the Atlantic here. But you can see the intertropical convergence zone through Tuesday, August 15th. There is a lot of moisture here to work with. So it starts to scour out the mid layers here according to the European model. So as we continue here, let's take a look and see how, look at that. Yeah, there's a low pressure initializing here right around Friday, August 18th. That's that time frame. But look here's what it's going to be battling. Tremendous dry air. So this first low battles dry air. The second low kind of solidifies behind it. Let's see if it has a chance with any of this dry air. Well, it does seem to have a better chance than its predecessor, which seems to wash out and head up towards the north here into lots of dry air and get sandwiched between that high pressure system. Look what starts to happen here across the Caribbean. Things really start to moisten up here from the Lesser Antilles, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, parts of Belize, Central America, Nicaragua, Honduras. So watch out. The tropics look to be opening up here. Open for business. So to my Caribbean friends and Latin American friends down here, let's take a look at your rainfall totals. I'm going to take the previous Euro model since we can go out further because initially we don't see too much rain in Jamaica, Cayman Islands. Most of it's in eastern Nicaragua and Honduras here as we head through Monday. But look at this. Yeah, we pile up the rainfall next week through next Friday. You can see upwards of 40, 50 millimeters of rainfall, 2.5 inches of range from Jamaica, the Cayman Islands. Lots of rain, 100 millimeters, 3 to 4 inches or more here in eastern Nicaragua and Honduras. But look as we head towards Tuesday, August 22nd, I want to make note here, the European model stubbornly keeping this tropical wave, maybe a tropical system by that point. Look at this. If this holds true, eastern Jamaica, upwards of 100 millimeters of rainfall, right around 3.5, 4 inches of rain. Cayman Islands, 75 millimeters, right around 3 inches. So watch out. The tropics look to be opening up here across parts of the Caribbean. Now, as we head towards the Lesser Antilles, take a look at this. So as we head through the weekend, there you go. Central and southern Lesser Antilles getting upwards of 40 to 50 millimeters, anywhere from about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. But we head through next week. Look at that. Monday into Tuesday, August 22nd. That's actually the week after. A lot can change, but look at this. Wow. Yeah, we're really piling up the rainfall here, 100 to 150 millimeters in some locations. That is a solid 3.5 to 5 inches of rainfall. So the tropics really ramping up. So if we take a look at Typhoon Lan here, yeah, it is strengthening, continuing to strengthen. The good news with this storm is guidance in the European model take this much further to the west, away from the metropolitan area of Tokyo, more towards the Osaka region. So as you can see here, this is going to head up here as we head towards August 14th. Yeah, making landfall just to the east of Osaka here and Kyoto. So yeah, eventually this system's going to head towards the north and then eventually the northeast. And as it makes landfall to become a tropical storm, spreading a lot of tropical moisture here across the Japanese islands as it heads towards the northeast. Now let's take a look at the rest of the tropics here, see if we got anything else brewing as opposed to just Typhoon Lan out here. You can see lots of tropical moisture heading across the Philippines here as we head towards August 18th. You can see, look what's going on here. We do have another low pressure system trying to form here just south of Japan. We'll keep an eye on that because that does actually have a chance to strengthen here and possibly become our next typhoon heading westward towards Taiwan. But we'll definitely have to check and keep an eye on out here for the northern Philippine Islands as well. If we take a look at Typhoon Lan here on the GFS, let's see if it's a similar path. Yeah, look at that eye wall. I want to just zoom in right over top here. Look at this. Yeah, as we head towards the 14th, there it is. GFS wanted to bring it in more towards Osaka. I'm more in line with the European model here, but look at how that heads off to the north and it starts to accelerate. So yeah, behind it, it leaves a bunch of tropical moisture, another low-pressure system behind it. Let's see what happens. Lots of moisture here across the central Philippines. You can see that fetch here. It's feeding into that system that shows up on the Euro about this time just south of Japan. You can see, look at this as we go in time. That system blowing up here just like it was on the European model. Also, another system potentially forming just west of the northern Philippines here. So watch out. We might be getting squeezed between two systems here towards August 21st. We have some time to watch this and see how it plays out. But look at this. The GFS making this the primary system with another system bombing out here towards the northeast of the Philippines, south of Japan. And we'll have to watch. Things stay really active with potentially a landfalling typhoon in South China by the 24th, and another system heading up towards the southern islands of the Japanese islands and heading towards Shanghai, China up here. As it does so, look at the moisture that it drags up here across the northern Philippines, just deluging you with tremendous amounts of rain, but I caution you, this is going pretty far out beyond 350 hours. So we got a couple of our invest systems out here. Yeah, the Eastern Pacific, you can tell El Nino is really kicking in because look at this. We got 3 areas out here that are likely to become 3 more named storms. And look at this one area just south of the Hawaiian Islands. I know you don't want to hear about any more wind here in the Hawaiian Islands, which is what's happened as of late. But we could have another tropical system head just south of you. You know, with that pressure gradient to the northeast, it could promote more extreme winds across the Hawaiian Islands, something you don't want to see. But watch as we go on time with the European model. These systems really bubble up and develop as we head towards the 15th of August, the 16th. You can see that initial system off the coast here of the resort towns of Mexico. Take a look at this. So that heading northwestward here. These systems, let's see how close they come to the Hawaiian Islands, so to speak. You know, we do have a system by the 17th that we're going to have to watch here off the coast of Mexico. That actually is a coastal hugger, it looks like, from Acapulco, maybe up just south of Puerto Vallarta here. Definitely something to keep an eye on because this system could really blow up, but thankfully it looks like it's heading towards the northwest here. Now, as we head with these systems out here towards Hawaii, let's see what happens with them. So pick up where we left off. You know, the first system heading just south of the Hawaiian Islands here, it looks to weaken, thankfully. But let's continue in time here. That second system could actually come pretty close here towards August 21st. Look how close it's coming to the big island of Hawaii. Here we go. Take a look at the GFS. See what this has in store here. So we're going to be looking at 3 storms here. You can see by the 15th of August, here's our first storm, second storm, and our third storm. Let's see if any land impacts on the GFS So as we continue to go in time, there's that first storm. Take a look at this. Heading just south of the big island of Hawaii. Pretty much the same as the European model, keeping it away from the Hawaiian Islands. The only problem is, as you know, you get that high pressure to the north. You get the stronger storm to the south. It promotes those extreme easterly winds that got you into trouble here across the Hawaiian Islands. Look at here, the system washing out the second system. And look at our third system here. Heading up, paralleling the coast, bombing out into a major hurricane a little bit further to the south and east than the European guidance, but still bringing up tropical moisture from Acapulco up to Puerto Vallarta. Another system potentially forming behind it. Let's see if that second system gets towards the Hawaiian Islands here. It really doesn't. It washes out on the GFS, but look at what happens to the Baja California here on the GFS. We have to keep every solution in our pocket here because this parallels the coast as a hurricane. Look at this. Heading up towards Southern California. Is this plausible? We'll have to keep an eye on this. It's very rare for these storms to make it as a tropical storm up towards the south, Southern California. But we'll keep an eye on it here. It is an El Nino year. Look at that. Another system towards the 24th paralleling the coast as well. So we're looking at the severe weather outlook. The biggest outlook exists here across parts of the Ohio Valley from Columbus, Cleveland, Canton, Pittsburgh. Here we go. This is the orange area. This is the enhanced risk of severe weather. So essentially, if you're in Pittsburgh, just southeast of Erie, Pennsylvania, parts of eastern Ohio, Scranton, Binghamton, Ithaca, Elmira, Williamsport, State College, even over here into the eastern Catskills and Poconos, this is a pretty good risk of damaging wind, large hail, isolated tornadoes. So if you're in this orange zone, please heed the watches and warnings. It's going to be a very busy afternoon and evening for your Saturday. And here it is across parts of the southeast, northern Alabama, central Tennessee, northwestern Georgia. Watch out. And if we take a look at our Monday outlook here across the Ohio Valley, parts of the Tennessee River Valley, the Appalachians, this is for your Monday. We are ramping up severe weather, a slight risk from Pittsburgh on southwestward. So our future radar here, this is what I really wanted to show you as far as back in our weather here. We're talking about severe weather in a couple areas throughout the day on Saturday into Saturday evening. These areas here into the northeast parts of the Ohio Valley, yeah, we're going to be watching for the prospect of damaging wind, large hail. Look at this towards 4 p.m. Saturday as we continue in time here. Let's see what we got going on. Yeah, these systems look really nasty as we get towards the evening hours. You know, the system across the south looks pretty potent across eastern Tennessee, the Appalachians. But look what we have going on here. Let me just back this up just a few frames, because it's going to be heading through the Cleveland area, the late afternoon hours, Erie, Pennsylvania, towards 4 and 5 p.m. And look at how this develops into a massive squall line. Areas from the Capital District to New York up to Burlington, down to Binghamton, and then stretching along the eastern part of Ohio here, western Pennsylvania. We're going to be watching for the prospect of this solidifying potentially into a solid squall line here. Look at this, yeah. This is going to be a very stormy evening, and you know we have that enhanced risk of severe weather even as we head into the evening hours. Look at eastern Pennsylvania by 10 and 11 p.m. The thunderstorms are knocking on your door in the Poconos, Catskills, parts of the Hudson Valley, the lower Hudson Valley by midnight. Look at these storms. They mean business as they progress towards the east here. Look at that, getting into southern part of New England. And as we reach out here, yeah, we're still dealing with storms here across parts of the south, but look at reloading out here in the plains with another mesoscale convective system. And as we head throughout the day on Sunday, it is looking better across much of the Ohio Valley into the northeast. It's part of eastern part of New England and Maine here, where we could see some frisky thunderstorms spinning up here. But watch this as we continue in time. You're going to eke out a pretty nice day most of your Sunday, heading on into Sunday evening here around midnight, until we get into the Ohio Valley around 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. here, 8 through 8 a.m., a lot of the weather going just south of the Cleveland area, but look at this. We're getting into, parts of the Appalachians and Ohio Valley here. Rain starts to fill in just in time for your new work week here on our last frame. I have much more weather. Don't go anywhere. You are only halfway through the video. Here is a quick announcement from my affiliate. Take a look at this. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. So here we go with the upper level pattern. We'll take the European model first and we'll transition into the climate model. Take a look at this. So we get that troughiness continuing here into the middle of next week. We take this all the way through the middle of next week. You can see that trough continuing to reinforce with this massive ridge out west. Now, as we get into the medium range climate model, as we head throughout the west of August, there is some hope right around the third week here. We get a big old ridge of high pressure building in. This is right around Monday, August 21st. So that is interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Here's that tropical potential entity out here showing up on the European model. But look at how that ridge stays entrenched here across the eastern part of the United States. This system doesn't know exactly where to go initially, and still it sets up across the eastern part of that ridge. You can see that starts to break down with another trough towards the end of August, kicking in here across the eastern part of North America. So we head into September. Look at this, September 1st. You can see this trough pattern really kicking across the east coast. Let's see if it lasts. Well, it actually doesn't, because look what happens about the first full week of September. Look at this out here. Let's actually draw it the other way around. A massive trough and a big ridge here developing across the east. Let's see if that lasts, though. Yeah, it doesn't really last too long. The troughiness here kicks across the eastern part of North America. So our European model here, I showed you the mesoscale model. So let's skip ahead here. As we head throughout the weekend, we're going to see those scattered showers and thunderstorms from the Ohio Valley. You can see them here into the northeast. Strong to severe later Saturday as well into Sunday. That kicks into parts of eastern New England. A little bit less vigorous, but still a pretty vigorous. We're going to see these pattern here where we see these big, strong lows bringing showers and thunderstorms, damaging wind, large hail, isolated tornadoes here into Monday, parts of the central states. Look at how it pivots into the Ohio Valley later in the day on Monday. So watch out for some severe thunderstorms here across parts of the Ohio Valley. Look how that ramps up later Sunday and into the Appalachians as well. So that low pressure there heading across northern Ohio, kicking storms across parts of Pennsylvania, eastern Pennsylvania by early Tuesday morning. And look at that, firing off showers and thunderstorms from Ohio into the northeast. Look at this. This is indicative of a wintertime pattern. Look at this low pressure system transferring energy to the coast. You don't normally see this here in the summertime, but look at that, keeping clouds and showers here into the northeast through early Wednesday. And then here into the southeast, we start to get, a little bit of tropical moisture here with our system, our weakness here in the high pressure system. So if we go ahead and take a look at liquid equivalent precipitation amounts here, from your weekend here, this is the whole weekend. We'll just stop it right here for the moment. You can see most of the rain out here in the Central Plains, Northern Plains, but look at here into the Ohio Valley to the northeast. Scattered about, we'll see probably an average here of a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Locally higher amounts in those heavier showers and thunderstorms, and that progresses here into through next Wednesday. We just add on top that, so we're going to continue to get these systems adding up to about anywhere from about 1 inch to 1 3/4 inches here with locally higher amounts. So as we zoom into the northeast here, you can see through your weekend here, Saturday into Sunday. Yeah, you can pick your location out. Don't focus on any one location, but the general theme is through the middle of next week. You can see we're going to rack up an average of about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, with locally higher getting into 1 inch and 1 3/4 inches here. So watch out. We could have some localized flash flooding in some areas where the heaviest precipitation storms set up. So your temperature outlook here, let's take a look and see what we got going on. As far as massive heat, look at that, 90s and even 100s here in the parts of Texas. You can see all the way up the west coast for that matter, 90s stretching their way. But look at around the lakes here. This is where it's cooler. It's right around even Cleveland, Rochester, northern New England, 70s, even some 60s here in the Dakotas as we head through Sunday into Monday. Take a look at this. Yeah, Monday, pretty much more of the same. That coldest air in the 60s pivoting towards the eastern Great Lakes. You can see 70s here, but watch out with the clouds and the rain here in the northern Great Lakes behind the front as well. Look at this. We scour upper 70s all the way down to parts of Tennessee for your Tuesday. Look at here into the northeast, getting pretty comfortable as well into the 70s, but the west is baking. And as you know, when the west bakes, we start to cool down in the east. You can see that telltale trough here kicking there across the lakes, holding temperatures down into the 60s, or should I say the 70s and the 80s. Yeah, not quite the 60s yet. We're not ready for that yet, but look at here in the 80s, here into parts of the northeast. Texas continuing to bake into parts out west into Friday, August 18th. Take a look at this. So we start to see the heat rebuilding out here in the plains, and I expect that to build ever so slightly to the east, but look at this. 70s continuing here across the lakes in the northeast. Extended outlook from hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna River Valley of New York and Pennsylvania. Saturday is the day, especially after 4 p.m., we're going to start getting those strong to severe thunderstorms, damaging wind, large hail, isolated tornadoes. Watch out for those watches and warnings, up to a half an inch of rain. Sunday is your nice day for the weekend, 84 degrees, sunny skies. Our next system rolls in closer to Monday afternoon and evening. A chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s through this point until the front starts to come through later Tuesday. Showers and thunderstorms likely all day, up to 3/4 of an inch, and we'll clear it out for Wednesday with a cooling trend in the upper 70s likely. As always, thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Take a look at my Facebook page at MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern to follow the tropics. And if you want to hop over to my Twitter page, it's at Weather Eastern. It's MeteoMark.com. Thanks for joining me. Question or comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted when a video comes out.